Well, a new book released this month tells the stories of Canadians who have faced fear. There's even a chapter about me in it. The book is called Kingdom Promise, Choosing Faith Over Fear, Conquering the Storms of Life. Well, another chapter in that book is about our next guest, Mel Stephens, founder of Teen Ranch and chaplain to the Toronto Argonauts for 13 years. Please welcome Mel Stephens. Great to have you here. Mel, before you were with the Argos, before you were a Canadian kids ranch director, you went to Australia and you also opened a ranch for teens there, and you picked up cowboy rodeo work. Now that was scary.
It's the potential to be very scary to be involved in rodeo. I took the safer route and was a calf roper and steer wrestler. It's not that steer wrestling is fearless, but it's pretty dangerous as well.
Your chapter in this book that we're promoting, Kingdom Promises, the Kingdom Promise, and here's a bit of a spoiler alert, it has you facing a very daunting financial fear. Mm-hmm. Tell us about the huge building that collapsed that you were heavily financially invested in.
Well, we prayed about building an ice hockey rink to look after our hockey program.
Because you have kids camps,
yes,
Teen Ranch.
We run hockey programs as well as horsemanship. And we prayed about it for 15 years and just finally felt that this was the time to go ahead and build it. We had walked in faith the whole history of our ranch, both in Australia and Canada. So we felt that we would just step out in faith, and we started the building, and it got partially up, big, beautiful beams from Western Ontario, and it was gorgeous. But one Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock, it all collapsed. No apparent reason, no wind, no storm. I'd gone for lunch with my son in a local town and told him that I was really excited about showing him this new building, just walking into it and feeling the atmosphere. We came home, it was flat on the ground.
Wow. Anybody under?
No, fortunately there was nobody in it Sunday afternoon.
And what did that mean for you on your fear factor?
It was $3.2 million to build it. And when the local newspaper came and took a picture of the collapsed arena, everything was flat on the ground. They said, "This is a tragedy, isn't it?" And I said, "No, it's not a tragedy, but it's a disappointment. And but God is in control. I believe God is sovereign."
Did you have insurance? Sorry, God insurance. She asks right away about the insurance.
Yeah, we had insurance, we thought. But we got a very curt note from the insurance company the next week, "You're not covered." And it was we had a builder's risk policy, but it didn't cover faulty workmanship, and they determined that it was faulty workmanship.
So here you are, a Christian ranch director, faulty workmanship. You're all involved with all kinds of warm, cozy Christian stuff. And did you sue? What did you do with your fear factor?
We were recommended to sue. We had hired contractors to do the job. And one morning I was called by a big-time lawyer in Toronto who only worked with insurance companies for or against. And he said, "Mel, I've heard your plight, and I do a couple of pro bono jobs every year. I'd like to take your position on and find the money for you. We'll get the money." So I made an appointment to visit him, and I got up that morning to have my regular devotional time before I headed in the city, and I happened to read 1 Corinthians chapter 6, where it says, "Don't sue a Christian brother." And I don't think it was a coincidence that I read it that morning.
So you're facing the fear of a $3.2 million disaster. Mm-hmm. You're a charity, how did you come through that financial fear?
Instead of costing $3.2 million, it cost $5.2 million because of all the interest accumulated, and because no insurance company paid a penny. 4 insurance companies were involved, not one paid a penny, so we had to...
But you still slept at night. You still sleep at night. You haven't given up on letting kids go through there.
No.
The Revenue Canada revoked your charitable status because you were making too much money off of trying to rent out the other hockey rink to pay for the camp. Honestly, nothing has stopped you.
My dad said to me when my first wife was dying of cancer, he said, Mel, when you have peace, you have everything. He just put his hand on my knee as I was driving home, very troubled, a bad report from the oncologist. And either the scriptures are true or they're not. Either God's in charge or he's not. And Jesus said, peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world gives, give I unto you. We're still going through it. We still have a $3 million debt. But it puts us in a position where we have to trust him day by day.
Wow. Mel Stephens, thank you very much. And the rest of your story kind of just spreads that all out and peels back a few more details, is all in the great new book, Kingdom Promise, Choosing Faith Over Fear. It's going to be great to let our readers, our viewers, have a copy of that book.
I'll be excited to read it. I don't have a copy
I know,
either,
it's just coming out. It's coming out. This is the first place that we're sharing it, so it's brand new. Coming up, I share some final thoughts on facing fear with Dr. Grant Mullen. Our topic of facing and conquering fear needs some concluding thoughts today from Dr. Grant Mullen. You have a test that you think we should ask ourselves. When I get that, what if? When a question starts in my mind, what if? What should I do?
Yes, the vast majority of fearful thoughts will start with what if, and they usually represent an illusion of risk. So whenever you get a what if thought, consider, is this just an illusion of risk? In other words, is there really nothing to be afraid of? So whenever you get a thought that starts with what if, look, is there anything really behind it at all? There's probably nothing.
All right. And if there is something, if there is, you think there's a spiritual dimension, we need to pass that through.
That's right. You talk to God and you talk to someone else. Don't just live in that fear. Don't wallow in it. If you get a what if thought, is there anything behind it? Talk to someone about it. And ask God, is there anything to be afraid of? Because fear is the opposite of trust.
All right, Dr. Grant Mullen, thank you very much. And like our studio audience today, you can also get a free copy of The Kingdom Promise, Choosing Faith Over Fear. It's a new book that a group of us Canadians have been interviewed for on how to conquer the storms of life. Part of my own story is one of the chapters in The Kingdom Promise. The only place you're going to get to hear that story is in this book. So send us a note, drop us a line on the feedback line, and we choose someone from all the feedback in here in the studio audience to get a free copy of the book. Call the viewer feedback line or leave us a message on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Lorna Duick. Thanks for watching us. Join us next week as we explore life beyond the headlines.